Okay, everybody, we are about to get started shortly. It's just about that time, almost. All right, 10 p.m. Let's get this started. Evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good evening so far. And let's get episode 2 of Beyond the Doll started. So let's switch over on screens here. Hi everybody! Shizusan here, and my lovely Sailor Jupiter, Makoto, is here with me today for our second episode of Beyond the Doll, which is called Anime Doll Shopping. So today we're going to talk about buying anime dolls in particular, and the where, the when, the how, all that kind of good stuff. Last episode we talked about the what's it called, anime dolls in general. So for those people that are new, or even if you're in the hobby, there may be some information that you don't know. We're going to be talking about where, when, and how to buy them, and the different intricacies, so to speak, nuances when buying anime dolls. Now, this channel mostly focuses, or for the most part, I usually focus on Dolphie Dream and Smart Dolls, so that's the majority of what we're going to talk about today. I'll give a little heads up on other kind of doll companies like as we go on, but for the most part, we're just focusing on Dolphie Dream and Smart Doll. Let's turn this music down because it's a little too loud. There we go. Alright, so before we get started, hello, good evening everybody. I just want to say what's up to everyone in chat. Thank you everybody for coming on. Let's see who's here. KR Murdy, good evening. Thank you for showing up and attending this episode. Tempest Strife, thank you for coming. Who else is in here? Derpy Jolteon, hello, good evening. Elsia Dion, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Who else is in here? Angel Breeze, Batman Jackson, Demi. What's up, Demi? Magica Girl Kit Kat. Hey, what's up? How's it going? I know, Sailor Jupiter, best scout ever. I know, right? At least for me. And for you, I guess, as well. Sailor Jupiter! So, evening, everybody. Did I miss anybody? Is that everybody that's on so far? Yeah, I think so. So, evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Hopefully you had a good week. Hopefully everything turned out okay. Nothing that bad happened. And we are ready to start the weekend. Key Clark, Sailor Jupiter looks lovely. Thank you. Thank you. I know she doesn't get much screen time or camera time because I'm so afraid to damage her by taking her out. I don't know. Like, she's just so precious to me. So scared to take her out. Elsie for short? Okay, no problem. I keep hoping they do the Outer Scouts. I would explode. Yeah, I hope they do the Outer Scouts too. I mean, nothing really prevents them from doing it, so why not? Ben Benjamin, hello, good evening, Ben Benjamin. How you doing? All right, Jupiter's quite a favorite of a lot of people. Yeah, well, I didn't know that actually. Is she really? I always thought like Sailor Moon, like either Sailor Moon, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune. I think those girls were, I thought they were like the more popular ones. I didn't know that Jupiter's like really, really popular. I had a lovely 4th of May. I know. I wanted to bring in a lightsaber to work, but I couldn't, obviously. KR Murdy, I totally would have been here last episode, but was actually prepping for my research symposium, presenting my latest work on miniatures and dolls for my art history program. Well, hopefully that went well. It's okay if you missed the live episode. It's going to be available on the channel. You can watch it at any time. The work week was brutal, Tempest. Sorry to hear that. I mean, I personally, I had an okay work week. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't really bad either. Key Clark, it's raining where I am. Yeah, it was kind of like drizzly for me and a little bit of rain. That's kind of why I picked like the rain theme music for today's episode. Derpy, I'm dreading for when they eventually produce Uranus. My fiance would want her. Yeah, Uranus. Like, I feel like the thing is that if they release Uranus, they have to release Neptune at the same time. Kind of like how they did Sailor Mars and Mercury were released at the same exact time. I kind of feel like those two, they kind of have to be released together. Let's see. Key Clark, Sailor Uranus with the space sword. Yeah. With the space sword with the it has jewels encrusted on it, I think, too, right? I believe it had like a blue and a yellow jewel like on it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, thank you everybody for coming. So let's get started with today's episode. We're gonna move Jupiter off to the side because it's hard to talk and hold her at the same time. So Makoto will take a break. I think a black lady would do gangbusters. You mean, oh, you mean like the alter version of Saturn. Hopefully I'm not spoiling that for people. I mean, it's kind of been years, so. Derby, we had a tornado warnings here, so it's been a long day here. Nice to be able to relax after the scare. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. We don't get much of tornadoes around where I am. We kind of get hurricanes once in a blue moon, but yeah, maybe some flash floods, but nothing tornadoes. That sounds really scary. Although I was in a typhoon when I went to Japan for my first trip in Japan, and I was caught in a typhoon. That was interesting. But yeah, okay, so, all right, gonna take a break from chat. Just keep chatting away. I'll come back to chat like in a bit. So today's episode is episode 2, anime doll shopping. So I want to talk about anime doll shopping, like kind of like how to buy them, where to buy them, when to buy them, kind of thing. Like, because for some individuals it can be complicated, and especially if you're brand new to the hobby. Like if you just started getting into it recently, or you just saw, the first episode of Beyond the Doll, and you're trying to get into this hobby, it can be a little daunting at times. So there's a lot that goes to it. The main thing I focus on are 2 main companies for my channel, which is Dolphie Dream and Smart Doll. Is nothing like I'm sponsored by them or anything like that. They don't pay me or anything like that. It's just my 2 favorite companies that I collect from. There are many other companies though. I mean, Volks is Dolphie Dream. Then you have Coach Japan, which is Smart Doll. And then you have other companies that A-Zone that has their own line. Pull-Ups has their own line of stuff. You have... what's it called? What's the name of that other one? There's another one. There was another one. I can't remember the name now, but it's just like Pull-Ups. It's a different name though. But anyways, there's like a lot of different ones that are coming out. And there's also, which is really interesting, is that they're starting to release, what's it called? Like model kits. They call them, like, the genre is called like Mecha Musume, which is like these, they kind of look like Figmas, but you build them from the ground up. It's essentially a model kit, but they have like different option nows where, Blythe, that's the name. They have different option now where like you can get different hairstyles, different clothing options that you, and different accessories. So it's almost having like a miniature doll that you build that you can like buy clothing and change the eyes and change the hair. Now obviously it's not to the same level as these dolls, but those things are kind of interesting. I was thinking about buying one. Maybe I will and review it on the channel, even though it's not technically a doll. But we're mostly going to focus on Dolphie Dream and Smart Dolls, because that's my main focus. So first up, we're going to talk about Dolphie Dream. I usually do Dolphie Dream first, not because I like Dolphie Dream better or anything of the sorts. It's mostly because when I got into the hobby, my first doll was Dolphie Dream. So now whenever I talk about, the Doll Symposium or Beyond the Doll, I usually go for Dolphie Dream first. I kind of give it that respect in a sort of way, just because it got me into it, but whatever. So we're gonna go and talk about Dolphie Dream buying and all that kind of stuff first, and let's move over. We're gonna change screens here so that I can show you some stuff. It's not really going to show you too many pictures, but it's things that you can read or whatever while I'm talking. So we're going to change there. There we go. So Dolphie Dreams, right? So with Dolphie Dreams, there are a lot of different lines that exist within the Dolphie Dream brand to begin with. I mean, they have their original characters, they have their decored characters, they have their anime collabs that they do, and they also have a dream choice system. Those are the four main, I guess, lines within Dolphie Dream, and also different ways of purchasing. So the first one, let's talk about the original, right? So the original Dolphie Dreams, I call them the original. You could also call them like standard Dolphie Dreams, which is essentially like characters that the company Volks made up as their, I guess, their image for a particular doll. So even within Dolphie Dream, there's all different kinds of like tiers, so to speak, or age groups of their dolls. So you have your Dolphie Dream, your regular Dolphie Dream, which kind of, in my opinion, is kind of like a late teens, maybe early 20s kind of age group is kind of what they represent. Then they have Dolphie Dream Dynamite, which kind of represents a more mature group. And when I say mature, I don't really mean anything pervy by that manner. Just mature, like physique-wise, they're just a little bit older. Then you have Dolphie Dream Sister, which I kind of feel like is kind of like middle school, maybe early high school years. Then you got Dolphie Dream Pretty, which is elementary school. And then you got Mini Dolphie Dream and Mini Dolphie Dream Ashimochi, which is kind of like early elementary school, like first grade kind of ish, like somewhere around that age group. So within each age group of dolls or each section of dolls, they have like what they call an original or a standard doll. And those are pretty much available all the time. Most of them only have one version. The original Dolphie Dream has, I think, 3 versions that are available right now. I could be wrong, but it definitely has more than one. I think with Mini Dolphie Dream, no, not Mini Dolphie Dream. With Dolphie Dream Pretty, there's 2 for that one. And then Mini Dolphie Dream, there's just 1. Dolphie Dream Sister, I believe there's just 1, if I'm not mistaken. Dolphie Dream Dynamite, there's 1. And it has a very specific face, a very specific eye color and hair color, and a makeup style to it. And those dolls essentially are available all the time. So if you go on their website, just go to Google, type in Dolphie Dream, or you can type in Volks. Just type in Volks doll afterwards, because if you type in Volks normally, I think there is the Japanese rim company that comes up first that makes wheels for cars, and I think there's like some kind of realty firm or something that comes up under Volks as well. But type in Volks dolls and you'll definitely get it when you go on there. And most of these original dolls or standard dolls, they're available all the time. Unless they're sold out, then they make more and then they put them back on the website. So it's not really hard to get any of these dolls per se. Those are fairly easy to get. And if you live in an area that has a Volks affiliate store, the United States technically doesn't have an affiliate. It has a branch, like they have Volks USA. It's like an entire branch. But an affiliate store is something that's run by somebody else, and they kind of like carry their product. I believe there's a couple stores all around the world. So if there's one near you, you can also probably get original characters there as well. But when we get into like the buying and like the difficulty of buying, it really comes down to decored, anime collabs, and dream choice. Those are a lot harder to get. Decored is a specific line of dolls that they sell only in the store in Japan. So if you go to any branch in Japan, like a Dolpa store, which they have in Tokyo, they have it in Osaka, they have it in Sapporo. I think they may have like a branch further south, like in Fukushima, but it's not a Dolpa. I think it's like a what's it called? A resin, like a Super Dolphie Dream store, but I think you can still get like some Dolphie Dreams there. I'm not 100% sure because I never went there, but definitely Tokyo and Sapporo and Osaka, you can definitely get the originals there, and you can get the decords there as well. Now they're kind of hard to get because you can only buy them in store. You can't buy them online. And they're not the same doll every time. So they're curated by staff. Like the Dolphie Dreams staff that works there at the particular store, every now and then they'll create their own doll to, I guess, their liking. I don't know if there's an actual formula to it. So you can walk in one day and see a girl and you could never see her again. So it's really up to the staff, like what they make and what they put out. So D-Cord becomes a little harder to purchase. The only way you could purchase D-Cords is if you go through a proxy site, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Same thing with Dream Choice. Dream Choice is basically build your own doll, and that can only be done at the store as well. And particularly with Dream Choice, you have to make an appointment. So if you're in Japan, you're visiting Japan, you live in Japan, you can give them a call and set up an appointment if you speak Japanese, that is. I don't really know if they have any English speakers that answer the phone, but maybe if they hear your voice in English, maybe they'll hand it off to somebody that speaks English. But the best way to do it is to go there in person. Like if you go there in person, 9 times out of 10, you could probably get an appointment that same day. Like I didn't have an issue getting an appointment the same day, although I did get the last appointment of the day, and that's because I literally went to the store at like 6 p.m. and they close at like, I think 7 or 8. So like, you know, you could still get an appointment the same day, especially if you go like first thing in the morning and you set it for whatever time you want. It shouldn't be an issue. If anything, if they were booked for whatever reason that day, you could probably get the next day over. But D-Cord and Dream Choice are things that you can only buy in Japan in the stores. So for those of you that are interested in that, just be aware of that. We'll talk about you can buy them as an international buyer a little bit later. But that's just the 2 that I wanted to hit on that point. And then, of course, the anime collabs, right? I'm big on anime. That's why I started collecting dolls. The anime collaborated characters is I guess the one that's more sought after, at least for people that just get started in the hobby that know nothing about it. Like if you're into resin dolls or any other kind of dolls and you kind of want to get into the vinyl scene, I think a lot of people maybe get like a custom made doll or one of the standard dolls and they kind of make it their own. But I think there's a lot of people like myself that when I got into it, you know, I got into it because of anime. So your first character or your first doll you buy may be an anime collaborated doll, which if that's the case, this is definitely for you. So let's move on to our next screen here. I want to talk about how to get anime collaborated dolls. There's essentially 2 ways. And when I talk about buying these dolls, I'm also talking about brand new. I'm not even touching used or secondhand, third party or whatever. This is all brand new, straight from the company itself. So first up is the pre-order method. If you want an anime collaborated girl, there is a pre-order method that you could do so. Now this happens usually once a year, at most twice a year it happens. And new anime dolls are usually released every Dolpa, which is what they call an event that they host, which is called Dolls Party. For short, they call it Dolpa. There's usually a brand new girl released at every single Dolpa, and there's pretty much 4 of them. Is it 4? Is it 3? No, there's December, there's April, and then there's 3. There's December, right? And then there's April, and then there's spring, then there's fall-ish. Well, the fall is kind of like end of summer, fallish. It's usually in August, but the dates are usually December, and then in April, and then in August is usually when they have the 3 Dolpas. So you will have brand new dolls that are released. For the majority of the time, the pre-orders will be something that's not released during those Dolpas. For the most part, it's slightly been changing as of late, where they've kind of been allowing people to pre-order for some Dolpas, but it's not like an actual thing yet. So with the pre-order, it's usually done in a certain amount of time. So they will give you a certain time frame, like let's say from September of this year till, I don't know, let's say November, right? From September to November, as long as you pre-order this particular doll, let's say it was Sailor Jupiter, let's say you pre-order Sailor Jupiter, within those 3 months, you're guaranteed that you will get this doll. Like, it's guaranteed that you will get her. Now, they usually try to break up the pre-orders by months. So if you pre-ordered in October, if you pre-ordered in September, if you pre-ordered in October, and then you pre-ordered in November, right? Those are 3 specific shipping dates, right? So if you pre-order in October, you'll be part of the first shipment, and then second shipment, third shipment, etc. So when you pre-order does make a difference. But as long as you pre-order within that time frame that they give you, you're guaranteed you're going to get her. Now, some pre-order periods have been short. I've seen some pre-order periods be like a month. I don't think it's been lower than a month, but I think a month was probably the shortest. Now, the thing with pre-orders is you got to pay everything up front too. Way back in the day when I first started getting in the hobby, you used to just pre-order and pay nothing. Like you would just pay nothing, and then I guess you just save up, and when it's time for the doll to be shipped to you, then they ask you to pay it in full, and then they ship it out. And then as the years went on, they started asking for more. They started asking for like a down payment. So then at a certain point, they changed it to when you pre-ordered your doll, you would put like $100 down as a down payment. And then, later on, when it's time for them to ship it, then they'd ask for the remainder of your balance. But now they have changed it in a way where now you pay up front. The whole thing has to be paid. So for those of you that were used to the old ways where you would just pre-order and then spend that whole time saving up till you had to pay, yeah, that's long gone. So now you got to pay the whole thing up front. So if the price of the doll is $600, you got to pay the $600. If it's $1,000, you got to pay the $1,000. And then you got to also factor in shipping to that as well, and whatever else you buy, like extra shoes or extra clothes when you buy the doll. Another thing you have to be worried about is it takes 2 months to a year to get your doll. So if it's one of those pre-order periods where it's like you only have a month to pre-order, it's usually shipped out within 2 months ish. But if it's one of those that's like 3 months time that you can pre-order, it takes a whole year. Case in point, Ishtola from Final Fantasy XIV. She was up for pre-order for 3 months. I think it was, when does it start? I think it was in July, and then August, and then September was her pre-order period. And then she, if you pre-ordered her, you're definitely going to get her, but not until, I think that was in 2021, and then you're not going to get her until this fall of 2022 in September. And even then, if you pre-ordered in July, then you're going to get her in September. But if you didn't pre-order till September, then you're not going to get her until December. And then you have to also worry about shipping delays. So sometimes, Volks gets backed up and they're like, oh, we're going to have to postpone it another month. So really, timing is of the essence with these pre-orders. So I just want people to be aware that when you pre-order a doll, this is basically what you're looking into. You're going to pay up front. You're guaranteed to get the doll as long as you pre-order within the time frame, but you do have to wait several months to a year before you actually get your doll. So that's the pre-order method. Then the other one is the one that's a little bit more toxic, so to speak, and that is the click war. So the click war are usually reserved for dolls that are released during a doll party event. So whether it's the December, the August, or the spring and April event where they announce a new doll, which is just like the one that's going on right now, was for Revolutionary Girl Utena and Anthe. They were released last April during their Dolpa. And actually right now, if you go on the Volks USA website, you can actually go and I think enter the lottery for that one. I should have put Click War /lottery. So Volks USA has a lottery, whereas the Volks International website doesn't usually do a lottery. They usually have a click war. So it depends where you go, right? So if you go to what they call the after event, which usually takes place a month after the actual Dolpa, then you can go on the Volks International website. And you got to remember, when you go to their website, it has to be during the date it is in Japan, not the date of where you live in the world, and the time frame in Japan. So if they say, on the 5th at 10 a.m., that's 10 a.m. Japanese time on the 5th during their calendar time, which would, for me, is like a day before at like 9 p.m. at night for me. So you do have to be wary of that. And then once it goes live, you got to click on that, you got to add it to cart, you got to buy it, and you got to make sure you're signed in already. It's a hassle, and sometimes the website freezes, and you got to reload and refresh, and then you can't get in, and then sometimes you get as far as adding it to cart, and then you get to the payment screen and you click pay, and then it does the rainbow wheel where it just keeps spinning, and then it says, oh, it's sold out because somebody's internet connection clicked faster than yours and it's gone. So it's a really, really harsh way of getting a doll. And the lottery method that Volks USA usually does is what's going on right now from, I think it's right now. Is it May? I think it's right now, if I'm not mistaken. Was it May or June? Hold on. Actually, let me bring it up real quick because I don't want to misspeak because you guys are going to go on the website right now. Let me see here. It was on the after event. See, I didn't prepare this part because I wasn't actually thinking of talking about it. Oh, it's not right now. It's June. My bad. It's June. So June 1st to June 10th, okay? June 1st to June 10th, if you go to Volks USA website, you basically put in your bid for a lottery. The good thing is you don't have to pay anything. You just, sign in and click on your lottery bid. And then at the end of June 10th, I think it's 2 days later or something like that, then what happens is, I don't know if they pick names out of the hat or if they use a random number generator or something like that. If your email comes up, they'll send you an email, and then now you have won the opportunity to buy the doll. It doesn't mean you get the doll for free. It's I won the lottery, free doll. No, you just won the opportunity to buy the doll. Let's see. So some of these things I already covered. So when you do the click war thing, it usually comes within a month to 2 months. Same thing if you do the lottery, a month to 2 months, because they have a set amount set aside. Like let's say, for instance, they only have 20 of them. I mean, it's not like they have to make them or anything. They literally just call your name, you pay for it, and then they ship it out, etc. So that's the click war, and lottery. So those are the other ways that you can get anime collaborated dolls. But that's, for the most part, those are the only ways that you can get them directly from Volks. There have been some dolls that went through a pre-order. No, not a pre-order. They went through a click war from an after event, and they just weren't as popular. And they didn't actually sell out, and you can buy them just straight out on the website. I think there's a couple girls right now. If you go onto the Volks International website, there's a couple girls that are available. I know it was Mercury. It was an Idolmaster girl. It was a Macross girl, Ronka Lee, and it was I think it was one of the what do you call those girls again? Marisa, the Toho girls. I think they were all up and available to purchase just outright because they just didn't sell enough of them. They just weren't as popular. So if it's a character that you really like that just so happens to be not as popular, you may get lucky and go onto the Volks International website, see it there, and you can just purchase it outright. So that's essentially getting them from the company. Now, there's other ways of getting these anime collaborated dolls, but buying them brand new directly from Volks, this is pretty much the ways that you do it. So let me go over to chat real quick and catch up. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. Alter version of Chibi Moon. Oh, okay. You should have a doll swing chair on the ceiling. You can just hang out next to your head. I mean, I could. I don't know. It just sounds like a little too much work there, Tempest. Magical Girl. I want a Queen Beryl. She's my favorite villain. Queen Beryl would be a pretty interesting one. I've been looking at A-Zone recently, but I'm super picky. I like their Magical Girl collection. I think that would be my first doll outside of Smart Doll. Yeah, A-Zone has some pretty good girls. I haven't purchased an A-Zone yet because one hasn't spoken to me. Kind of like the same thing as you. Although there is one that has now. I'm trying to get my hands on it, and so far, I'm not successful. Tempest, I kind of want to get one of the Nen dolls. Is that like Nendroid dolls? I don't think I'm familiar with that. Derpy, Magical, the magical ones are worth it. I had one. They are amazing and super adorable. Also great dolls for dolls. Oh, when you're saying magical girls, you're saying like the smaller ones, right? Like the 1/6 scales? Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Nendals are adorable. I'm looking at getting a few more for my fiance. She's been begging to help her new chibi style. Okay. Angel Breeze. I got into Dolphie Dream as my first, but my first doll was a smart doll as it was a bit cheaper with the Cortex at the time. Oh, so your first one was a Cortex? Wow. That's pretty cool in a way. Because did you build it or did you get the pre-built ones? Because Cortex is pretty cool. I said it in my last episode, like, Cortex didn't get the love that it should have gotten. And now that it's gone, it's quite a disappointment. Magical Girl, that makes me excited. I'll definitely look into them. Let's see. Derpy, I'm glad you agree with my taste in Pokemon. Definitely gonna check it out. My first vinyl was a rescue Dolphie. Oh wow, Tempest. Oh, but you know what? Tempest, I know you. You're like really into dolls. So, you know, for you to get your first one as a rescue, I'm not surprised because you're good with dolls. Derby, my first vinyl was a Dolphie Dream Dynamite Toa, one of the Volk standard models. Hard to dress, but an amazing doll. Toa is really pretty, and the Dynamites. The thing with the Dynamites is they have very limited clothing, because of their shape figure. So it is a little harder to find clothing for them. Let's see, Tempest Sumika. I believe that's the smaller stores that don't have a store location with limited dolls. Yeah, I think they call like Sumikas or isn't there one called like a Tenchi no Sato or something like that? Oh, Tenchi no Sumika. Yeah, you roughly translate to Angel Home. Video game collaboration, maybe licensed dolls, a more generic term. Yeah, I mean, they do video game collaborations, anime collaborations, Vocaloid collaborations, because Vocaloids is not necessarily video game or anime, so to speak. Derpy, yeah, June 1st. Yeah, I got that wrong. It wasn't May 1st. It was June 1st. My bad. Tempest, I'm a thrifty lady. KR Murdy, especially their body design. My latest obsession are the Petworks Ruruko. They use the A-Zone Pure Nemo extra small, and I love dressing her. Oh, okay. So the Petworks Ruruko uses the A-Zones. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Pure Nemos is a brand within A-Zone. They're like about 10 inches tall, I want to say, and they're made out of plastic, and they have some movement, but not as much as like a Dolphie Dream and Smart Doll kind of movement, but they're really cute, and they have a huge selection of clothing and accessories for them. It's not like specifically made for Pure Nemo, because the Pure Nemo is like a 10-inch doll, but they have so many different 10-inch dolls and so many different lines. Like there's Pure Nemo, there's Assault Girl Lily, there's something called like Another Life, there's another one called like Bakery something. Like they have so many in the 10-inch lines, and they all have accessory and clothings for them. So if you are getting into A-Zone with the Pure Nemo 10-inch girls, there's a lot available for them, if you were interested in that. Let's see. Demi, I mean, Project Diva is a game. Yeah, you're right. Project Diva is a game too. That's true. I always think Vocaloids is just the concert girls, though. I keep thinking it that way. Tempest, I can't get any good clothes for 2B that isn't like, here's my chest. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Dolphie Dream Dynamite line, for those that are not familiar, I said it a little bit earlier, they're a little bit more mature, and that's because they have more of how do I say it without sounding like really gross? Like they're like mature, like voluptuous in shape. Like they have a lot of curves, so they're very curvy, like hourglass shape. So a lot of the clothes don't fit them because of that shape, and most of the clothes that are designed for that body shape are pretty risque. Is a good way of saying it. Not all of them, but like a good lot of them are pretty risque-ish. Kind of thing. So Vocaloids can be the game characters. That's true. Derpy, same thing happened with my Toa, boobs showing everywhere. That's why my Dolphie Dream Dynamite has like a sweater on, so it's not like as revealing, and it's not the sweater with the cutout. It's just like a regular sweater. Yeah, I think licensed dolls is the most overarching description, licensing other properties. So yeah, I agree with that. Derby, Miku has some of the modules from the game. Ribbon Girl is from the game. Ribbon Girl, that's the one that had that like pink and turquoise, right? Wearing the schoolgirl outfit kind of thing with the varsity jacket. I think that's the one you're talking about. That one's really cute. I like that outfit. Bust to waist ratio is crazy. Yeah, it is. So for the Dolphie Dream Dynamite, I actually did the measurements, and I was talking about it at a convention once to kind of like give people an idea of the measurements. And I think when I upscaled the 1/3 to like a 1/1 scale, like if the doll was actually a girl, I think the Dynamite girl, when I was doing the math, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think she was like 5'5", 5'5" and then she had like a 36, 27, like 37, I think it was. So it was like very like hourglassy, like kind of shape, and it can be pretty crazy, like finding clothes that match them well. Samantha, I got my first smart doll. She's Melody. She's a week old today. Oh, congratulations on getting a Melody, and congratulations on your first doll. Very, very awesome. Dopey Jerpion, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into the Dolphie Dreams. But yeah, that's purchasing them brand new for anime collaborations. You got pre-order, click war, and I should have put lottery on there, but there's the lottery method as well. So let's get moving on to the next part. So the next part is what is called a proxy service, or everybody calls it a proxy service. So if you want to get any of these anime collaborated dolls and you weren't able to get them directly from Volks yourself because either A, you lost the click war, B, you lost the lottery, or C, you forgot to pre-order during the pre-order period, there are other ways to get these dolls. Or if the doll was something that you wanted, like I wanted an Asuna doll, which was released 10 years ago, you can also get a proxy service. So what they do, a proxy service basically goes out and gets the doll for you in Japan. So in the case of a lottery or a click war for the DOPA events, you can have a proxy service actually attend the event. They will physically go to the event and then stand in line to try to get you the doll that you want. There's no guarantee that it'll work, but for the most part, they're pretty good about it. And especially the one that I personally use, from what I've heard, is that they've pretty much gotten everybody what they needed so far, for the most part. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't work for them, so I don't know every single request that comes in. But proxy service, to give you an example, of things like Japan Doll Direct. They're the ones that I personally use. Or there's another one called @SophieBabyBear on Instagram, which I know a lot of people use. There's also other ones, like you can use, I think Neela is another one I think Neela's on Twitter. But you can use Neela, there's some other ones as well that you can go to. But the proxy service basically goes there for you. If you need like an older doll, they can go and search for you as well. Like let's say you wanted a doll that was released 10 years ago, they will go to doll stores in Japan, like different places, either in Tokyo, Sapporo, Osaka, wherever, and all the little nooks and cranny stores to go look for them, or search on Yahoo Japan or Japan only like auction sites and search for those characters for you and buy them for you and then ship them for you. Now, obviously, this is going to cost you more money because not only are you paying for the doll themselves, you're paying for their service to go there. So they have a service charge fee. Then you're paying for shipping and packaging fees for them to package it for you. And then, the shipping fee for them to ship it to you. So for the sake of example, if the doll was, let's say, $600, at the end of the day, all the taxes and charges and service charges and shipping all together, you might be spending maybe $800 or more for using a proxy service. So it definitely is more expensive to use them, but they are definitely really good at getting you exactly what you need. So definitely check them out. Like I said, I don't get paid by any of these people, and I'm not sponsored by them, but I do use Japan Doll Direct all the time for all my doll needs that I couldn't get myself, and they've always been really good about contacting you on time, and the pricing is pretty decent. Like, I've only used Japan Doll Direct, I'm gonna be honest. I've never used any other proxy service, and the reason for that is just purely because I'm satisfied with what I have. Like, why am I going to go somewhere else if I'm already have a good thing going with Japan Doll Direct? They've been nothing but really awesome to me. So I had no need to go anywhere else. But I know a lot of people personally that use at Sophie Baby Bear on Instagram, and they love her service as well. So I don't have any personal experience from Sophie, but I've heard from many personal friends that she's fantastic. So definitely you can use either of these, or you can use any other proxy service that you want. But these are the two that I can personally say are good. But they can go and get you essentially anything that you want, and they'll go look for it for you. And if they can't find it, they'll let you know that they can't find it. They'll usually tell you, they'll look for like a month or something. Or if you want to like say, like you could tell them, be like, I'm looking for this doll. If you come across it, at some point in the future, I want the doll or something like that. And they'll keep you on a list or something. And if it comes through like 2 months, 3 months later, they're gonna message you. But yeah, proxy service is definitely something that is very helpful, especially if you lost out on a pre-order period or a lottery or an event. Even if you want to just guarantee that you get the doll, in a way, kind of guarantee, like that's what I did with Sailor Jupiter, is because they didn't mention on release whether or not she was going to be a pre-order or a lottery or a click war. They didn't say anything, and I just really wanted to get the doll. Like, I didn't want to lose a lottery. I didn't want to go through any heartache, and I was just like, you know what? I messaged Japan Doll Direct. I said, I want a Sailor Jupiter. Can you get her for me? They said yes, and they got it for me. It turns out she was a pre-order period, so I could have just done it myself, but I actually got it through Japan Doll Direct because I just wanted to make sure that I got the doll. And I would have gotten her anyways, but even then, like, they're good with other things as well. Like, I wanted to get a kimono set that was going at a doll event for Dolpa, and I didn't want to risk not getting that kimono in a lottery or a click war, so I had Japan Doll Direct actually go to the event, and they purchased the kimonos for me. I don't know about Sophie Bear, but Japan Doll Direct also does other things. So like they've gone out and got me like rare Gundam kits in Japan. And they've gotten me a couple like CDs, like audio CDs for like Japanese bands that I like that I can't find here in America. So they do other things as well, but their main focus is dolls. But proxy system is definitely something that's very very useful, especially in this hobby. But I think that's everything for that. Am I missing anything? You got your pre-order period, your click war, you got your lottery, your proxy service, and those are all to get you like either brand new or used dolls. Now, delving into the used Dolphie Dream is always going to be a risk, or third party, used or third party, because if you get it used, you're not really sure if the person that's selling it is really telling the truth. Like they could be selling you a fake one, they could be selling you one that's more damaged than what you asked for, or they could just run away with your money. There's no guarantee when you buy it used, either through eBay or Mercari is starting to sell like Dolphie Dream stuff, any other kind of like third party places. You're not really guaranteed you'll get it. It's always going to be a risk, right? Now, the best places to get them is actually from doll communities. Now, there have been some incidents within a doll community that people have gotten duped, but that's not that often. And when it does happen, the whole community kind of bands together and they warn everybody, like, look out for this person. They tried to sell me something that was fake or this and that, blah, blah, blah. Community is really good about calling out people on their BS. So if you're part of like a doll community that you see somebody selling, always ask for a reference. Like if somebody's selling something, be like, hey, I want a reference check on this person because I'm interested in buying from them. And people will give you their thoughts or their ideas on that individual, and you can purchase from them at that point. Another place that you can try for used dolls or even new dolls that you may have missed in the past is a place called Mandarake. That's Mandarake. right? Am I spelling that right? Yeah, Mandarake. It's essentially a thrift store, so to speak, in Japan, and they have so many stores spread out through Japan. And if you go on there, the cool thing is that they do international shipping, and everything is in English. So it's super easy to use. So you just go on there, type in Dolphie Dream, and there's going to be pages and pages of stuff that come up. From dolls to clothing to accessories, anything, you name it, they have those type of things. Now, they might not have the particular thing that you want, but they got lots and lots of things. And Dolphie Dream is definitely one of them, as well as Smart Doll and A-Zone and other doll brands. It's an amazing place to shop on internationally online. It's even awesomer if you go in person. When I went to Japan, I went to as many different mandarakes as I could, and they have so many things, not just doll stuff. Like, they do everything there, like gashapons, figmas, statues, cell art, vinyl records, like a whole bunch of things there. It's not just dolls, but they definitely have a particular section for dolls in every single mandarake store all throughout Japan. There are other places, like you can go to auction sites. Like I said eBay, but you have like Yahoo auctions. They have Yahoo Japan that you can go to, and you can use, I don't know, I've never asked a proxy service if they can do Yahoo auctions, but they do have other services like Buyee is another, that's Buyee, which is a service that you can pay for to bid on live auctions on Yahoo auctions for you. I think there's other services too, but I know the one I know of is Buyee. I've never used them myself, and I've never purchased from Yahoo auctions, so I can't really say if it's a good thing or a bad thing because I've just never done it. But it is an option out there for you if you're interested in doing it that way. But that's everything, I think, at least when I'm talking about Dolphie Dreams. And a lot of this carries over to all the doll brands, especially like the third party and the buying used. It's pretty much the same for all the doll brands. But for buying brand new Dolphie Dreams, I think that I covered everything on that end. So let's move on to the next one, which is Smart Doll. Now, before I go to Smart Doll, let me just check chat. Let's see. What else are you guys talking about in chat? Tempest, to be fair, small waists have a bit of a function for fashion dolls. Around the waist, seams and hems collect. While at 1/1 scale, this might seem jarring. At 1/6 scale or 1/3 scale. Yeah, I guess so. Like, especially if you have something that, like, doesn't have an elastic, I guess. Like, especially for, like, a skirt. You can have it hang, like, on the hips, I guess, is one way. Scale the extra bulk around the waist can start to seem like an OBGYN or a big polka fabric around the waist. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just in a week, happy 1 week there. Derpy, I didn't realize a proxy could get older dolls. Yes, proxies can get older dolls. So if you're looking for a particular doll, you can contact the proxy service and they will look for you, whether they look for you on Yahoo auction sites or Mandarake or any other like small stores that are spread throughout Japan, because there are other stores there's that sell dolls, like there's From Sen, there's there's Dolk, there's a lot of different stores that are mainly within Japan that you can't get to unless you're in Japan that sell these things, but they will go shopping around looking for it for you. And the thing I know about, at least personally, with Japan Doll Direct is they have a team. So like there's one person that runs the whole like social media thing, and then there's one person that heads up the searching project. They call her Miss Translation Lady. And Miss Translation Lady, she goes to all the events and all the places to go search for things for you. But I believe she also goes with a team of people as well. For instance, an example would be like if they go to a Dolpa and there's like they have 10 orders, like 10 people want to get the same doll, there's no way that Miss Translation Lady can get 10 dolls on her own, like, because they also do it like when you go to the event, you have to purchase you have to purchase a ticket, but you also have to purchase a guidebook, right? And in the guidebook, I believe it has like a lottery ticket or a voucher thing to get in line to purchase the dolls. So you can't get 10 dolls with just one ticket. So she actually, has like 10 other people that come with her, and they all have the books, and they all wait online to try to get it for you. So yeah, they have like a whole team that does this. I don't know if Sophie has her own team that helps her, if it's just her or other proxy services. I don't know if they have a team that actually go out to help, but proxy services are definitely a good thing, especially if you missed out on a specific doll. Magical Girl Kit Kat, that's so cool. I will look into proxy services. Yeah, I mean, definitely check it out. See if it's something that you're into. It's not for everybody, because some people, I guess you could say, have trust issues, or some people don't like spending the extra money for the proxy service. So it's not for everybody, but it's definitely a useful tool if you really, really want something. So give them a look, give them a shout out, see, and it doesn't cost you anything to ask. Like, I remember before I bought something from Japan Doll Direct, I was kind of like a lurker. I asked them like a couple times for a couple items. I was like, hey, are you able to get this, and how much would that be? And I wasn't really feeling the price at the time, or I didn't have the money at the time, so I said, okay, maybe next time. And I did that, I think, to them maybe like 5 times. I feel kind of bad. I did it like 5 different times before I actually like made a purchase through them. But because it was my first time using a proxy service and I didn't know what to expect. But after my first experience with them, personally, I they were amazing, and now they're the only service I use. But that's just me. You may not like them, or somebody else may not like them. I don't know, but give them a shout out. See if they are able to help you with whatever you need. Derpy, I've thought about going through Japan Doll Direct to get a Dream Choice boy, since that's the only way to get a boy. Yes, if you want a Dream Choice boy, you need a proxy service. Japan Doll Direct definitely does that for you. I know Sophie Bear definitely does that. She advertises it all the time that she does it for you as well. So if you want to check either of them, see if their pricings, which one works for you better. I think Sophie lives somewhere either in Tokyo or just outside of Tokyo. So her fees aren't usually too high, because they usually charge for like train fee, to go there, or entrance fee if it's an event. That's all like tagged into your service charge. Japan Doll Direct, depending where you need them to go, they may charge more or less depending on how far from their home base. I actually don't know where their home base is, but because they go everywhere, they literally go everywhere. Like, they go to Tokyo, they go to Osaka, they go to Nagoya, like they go everywhere. So I don't actually know where their home base is, but depending on how far they have to travel out, the service charge might be a little bit more. Let's see, Tempest, have you ever haunted Yahoo Japan auctions? I have haunted them. Like, I've looked through the auctions to see if there's anything I really want. But for me personally, it wasn't very easy to navigate, at least for me. Like, I kind of had a hard time navigating Yahoo Japan. But that was like a long time ago. And since that experience, I haven't gone back. Like, I want to say like more than 6 years ago. So I haven't done it recently. So don't really take my word for it. If you really want to check Yahoo Japan, go for it. And maybe you'll just have a better time. There's other auction sites too. Like, there's Taobao, which is a Chinese auction site. I've been lurking there a lot. There's a lot of things I want to buy from Taobao. I just never really bit the bullet and try to buy from them as of yet. But let's see, that's everything in chat. So let's move on. So Smart Doll, we're going to talk about Smart Doll, buying brand new from Smart Doll. Okay. So from Smart Doll, you have different lines within itself. You have the anime line, you have the semi-real line, and you have the anime collabs. Currently, those are the only 3 lines that Danny Chu has. There's other things that he's working on. There's other projects like Pocket Doll, and there are other things that were in the past that are not here anymore, like Cortex and Smart Doll Plus. But currently, anime, semi-real dolls, and anime collabs are basically all that he has. Now, within anime and semi-real, you have different skin tone colors. Just like Dolphie Dreams, they have different colors that they come in, whether it's flesh colored, tan colored, semi-white colored, things like that. Smart Doll has their own brand of colors. Like, they have cinnamon, they have tea, they have cocoa. They just recently had blue. They're gonna have green. as a fantasy color too. I think it's called Galaxy Green or Galactic Green. They had Milk, which was the original color, which is now discontinued, which sad me. I have a lot of Milk girls and it's discontinued. I'm really hoping he does like a limited run at some point, like a special season where he does like a couple Milk items, but I really don't know if he's going to do that or not. But you have the anime, the semi-real, and the anime collabs. Now, the anime and semi-real lines, there are a lot of dolls. And the anime collabs, there's very little. There's actually not many of them. He doesn't release them very often. But they are there, if you are interested. Let me see. I was going to say something, and then it totally slipped my mind. And now I can't remember. What was it? No, I can't remember. Oh well, I'll remember, and we'll come back to it at some point. Now, the interesting thing about Smart Doll is that Smart Doll came later. It wasn't, the first one. It was actually Dolphie Dream. That was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was the very first vinyl doll creator. I could be wrong. But you had Dolphie Dream, then you had Obitsu and A-Zone that came afterwards. And then after them came Smart Doll. So if you want to really think about it, Smart Doll is like the new kid on the block. But for being the new kid on the block, it's giving Dolphie Dream and A-Zone a run for their money. Because Smart Doll has grown exponentially within the short time frame that it has been around. It rivals all the other doll companies. Now, I don't want to say it's beating them, but I would say it's a really tight race between all the different brands. It's a very tight race on sales. Because they just... this is really just the main three. There are other doll companies, but those are the main three that like everybody keeps to be flocking to, and Smart Doll just has that edge. There's something about it that people like, whether it's the creator Danny Chu himself, like people get along with him or they like his persona, or if it's the aesthetic of the dolls, because they have a very different aesthetic than Dolphie Dreams. Like Dolphie Dreams are more like, how can I explain Dolphie Dreams? Dolphie Dreams are more like, I want to say a piece of art in a way. Like they're very like delicate. Like they're very symmetrical too. Like everything is perfectly shaped and perfectly cut, so to speak. And A-Zone is the same way. They try to make everything symmetrical and everything, form-fitting and aesthetically pleasing. Smart Doll is a little bit different. They do the same thing. They want, obviously, their dolls to look very beautiful and very sleek, but they have some exaggerated features. Like Smart Doll has a little bit bigger hips. They also have a lot longer legs. They kind of like have like this supermodel type look to Smart Dolls where the legs are much longer and the torso is a little shorter. Whereas with Dolphie Dreams, their characters are more like even, so to speak, like from torso to head, and then from legs to feet is pretty much the same height for the most part, give or take an inch or two. But Smart Doll has some exaggerated features as the legs and the whip and the hips, and they are more so a fashion doll than anything else. Dolphie Dream and A-Zone is more like an anime styled doll. They got a lot of their money from anime collaborations and anime features, and Smart Doll also gets a lot of people because of their anime features and whatnot, but they also have those exaggerated features of the longer legs and the bigger hips. They also have like a difference where the knee joint doesn't bend all the way. With Dolphie Dream and A-Zone, the knee joints can bend really far for your dolls to be in a kneeling position. But when they do that, you can see the inside of the legs. There's like little holes that poke out, and it looks pretty unsightly for some people. So Danny, the creator of Smart Doll, didn't like that idea, and he didn't like the way it looks. So he made it so that they only bend at 90 degrees and they can't go any further, so that you don't see that. Now, obviously, that's a limitation. So they can't really sit like properly, like a straight, like their back straight and then their legs straight and like this, like kind of like that H kind of shape. They can't do that. Whereas A-Zone and Dolphie Dreams can. So that's another thing about Smart Doll that's slightly different. Another thing I found really interesting about Smart Doll is that when they launched, the creator, Danny Chu, he was a huge fan of Dolphie Dream, actually, before he started his own company. Long story short, he decided to make his own doll, and he created Smart Doll. But when he did create Smart Doll, there were certain things that he didn't like about Dolphie Dream that he wanted to change for his brand. Like, for one, the one thing was he didn't like the whole lottery system and buying the whole exclusivity system, where it was hard for people to get their hands on the dolls. So he wanted to make his dolls available all the time. And when he first launched Smart Dolls, that was one of his key phrases. Like, he would tell you that Smart Doll is available all the time, and if there aren't, they're going to make more, and they're always going to be available. And it was a really awesome thing because it opened a lot of doors for a lot of people to get into this hobby, because if they saw the girl that they wanted or the doll that they wanted and they didn't have the money at the time, they could wait, and save up money and then eventually buy the girl or guy that they wanted at some point. So that was a huge selling point for Smart Doll. And then it got to the point where basically it wasn't feasible. What he learned from doing his business was that he couldn't keep every single girl in stock all the time, because then he ran into storage issues. So like, if there was a girl that didn't sell as well, they'd be taking up space, and then even if they were selling well, it's just taking up too much space because he keeps releasing new dolls. So, at first there was only like 3 dolls. Like, you had Mirai, you had Kizuna, you had Chitose. And then like he started making more and more and more, and then you started getting boys. You had like Eiji and Crimson, you had Melody, you had Sana, you had Prowess. Like, he kept making more and more dolls, and there's just nowhere to store all these dolls. And unfortunately, it just got to the point where basically he had a few dolls that he would keep available for the most part. Like, Mirai will always be available because she's a flagship girl. And then other dolls, if the sales are going down and they don't sell as well, he just discontinues them and cancels them, and then they're no longer sold anymore. So if there's a girl that's really popular, they usually stay around for a long time. Like, Melody is still around and has been around for a long time. And Prowess has been been around for a long time. Liberty's been around for a long time. Like, there's a lot of girls that have stayed as staple dolls that continue to be available. But then there's also a lot of girls that people really liked, and then they're just gone. Like, Kanata's gone, but we have heard that Kanata's coming back. Twilight is gone. A lot of people like Twilight, but she's gone. Can't get her anymore. And the original ones too, like some of the original Coco skin, which was a little bit more purpley, that's gone. That's no longer the Coco. Now there's a new Coco out there. The original Kizuna is gone. That's not coming back as far as we know. There's a newer version of Kizuna. The original Chitose, my favorite girl, she's gone. She's not coming back. There's Chitose Multiverse now. Whether or not there's going to be a new version of Chitose coming out, that's a whole nother thing. We have no idea. There might be. But he does release the original Chitose heads from time to time. So you may get lucky and be able to buy that at some point. But yeah, that's an interesting thing that I thought about Smart Doll that's slightly different, is that even though they were meant to be available for everybody, they kind of became limited due to the fact of just simply storage issues. So where are you gonna buy, right? Well, it's a click war. It's literally a click war. You go to the Smart Doll website, go to Google, type in Smart Doll, it's the first one that comes up. You go on their website and you can buy the dolls there. For the most part, most of the girls will be available, on the website whenever you want to purchase them, for the most part. Some girls are super hard to get. Like, for instance, the Intergalactic Blue dolls for Smart Doll. Those were hugely popular, and every time they were released, a small handful of people got them, and then a whole bunch of people were really sad because they would be released and then, a few minutes later, completely sold out. Now, the cool thing is Danny says that he'll continue to make Interstellar Blue until nobody buys them. as much anymore, like when sales start dipping. Plus, he's also working on not Intergalactic, it's on Galaxy or Galactic Green. So once that releases, the blue may go away. Other dolls like Prowess, when she first released, was really hard to get initially. Chitose Multiverse, when she was first released, was really hard to get, so they end up being a click war. You literally have to keep an eye out for when they're going to be released. The thing that makes it hard too about the click war with Smart Doll is that he doesn't tell you when they're coming out until they're out. Like, he'll post a lot of times like, oh, I'm making this new girl, she's in production, she'll be released sometime in the future. And then he'll post more pictures of the same girl at certain intervals throughout the year, saying, hey, what do you think about this, or what do you think about this hairstyle, she's coming out soon. But you don't really get a date. And then he'll post it. He'll send a post like, oh, I'm gonna, like today, he did it today. He's like, in a couple hours, I'm gonna be releasing some goodies. But you don't know what it is yet. He just says goodies, right? And then when he posts it, you literally have to be there and just be like, I need my notifications to come up, or I need to be by my phone or whatever. And it comes up and you're like, cool. And you click on the link and you try to buy it as fast as you can, because it could sell out. Like, putting it in your cart does not reserve it for you. You could put it in your cart and someone can still buy it before you actually get to buy it. So it really is a click war. And the reason why I say it down here on this picture here, it says @SmartDollLand. That's the Twitter handle you need to follow. So if you want to get a new doll, you're going to have to go and follow @SmartDollLand on Twitter. Okay, so when you go and sign that up, make sure you subscribe to them or you follow them, and then click on that follow button and do all tweets. Make sure all tweets is checked off, because every single tweet he makes on there, on that specific account, is all for new release stuff or stuff that's being restocked. And they go super fast. They go really, really fast. Now, you may end up in a situation where you don't get the girl that you want or the boy that you want, and for the most part you just gonna have to wait till he makes more and restocks them at a later date, and then you could maybe try your hand at the click war then. But that's the only way that you can get brand new Smart Dolls from Smart Doll, is either through a click war, or you wait after the initial click war to see if it's still available at a restock date later on. And like I said, it's really brutal, at least for the first release, right? After the first release has died down, getting a girl subsequently after that is a lot easier, as long as it doesn't become discontinued. And it only becomes discontinued if it doesn't sell well. So if it's a girl that you like that doesn't sell well, then for the most part it's probably going to be available on the website whenever you want to buy her, because it legit isn't selling well. But if it's a super popular girl, like widely popular, like right now, what was it? Smart Doll Fortitude in T, so popular. When she was released, I think she sold out in 30 minutes. I want to say 30 minutes. But then she came back, he made more, and they came back on the site. Now, where this becomes really important is with anime collaborated dolls. Because anime collaborated dolls, for the most part, are not remade. It's a one-shot deal. And that's because of the anime licensing agreement that he has with these companies. So he had Girls in Panzer. There was a couple characters from there. He had Spike from Cowboy Bebop. You had Lelouch and Suzaku from Code Geass. You had Maki from Idolmaster. You had what's her other name? The other girl from Idolmaster. I can't remember her name now. Starts with an S. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. And some other characters. I think it was what's that girl's name? There's another one that sold out really fast. Oh my god, the names are like escaping me today. Nami from One Piece. So these characters, these animated collaborated characters that are on a limited release. I don't know how many. He doesn't say how many he has available. They go really fast. So for the first release, I think the very first anime collaboration characters he made was like the Girls in Panzer girls. and the Frame Arm Girl. They went pretty quickly within, like, I want to say, like, a week to 2 weeks to a month at most. Then they finally sold out, right? And those were the first couple dolls. But then we started hitting big names like Nami from One Piece and Lelouch from Code Geass. A lot of people wanted those. Then they started selling out really fast. So Nami from One Piece, I think, sold out in, I think, half a day. I think she sold out in half a day. Lelouch sold out in a couple hours. Maki, I think Maki holds the record for the fastest. I think. I could be wrong, but I think Maki was holding the record for the fastest, where she sold out in, I think it was like less than 15 minutes. I think it was. She was gone. Like, she just went up on the website. People were clicking like crazy, and then like 15 minutes later, boom, gone. Just can't get her anymore. Like, when it comes to anime collaborations, it's really, really bad, like, trying to get one. It's really hard. You have to really be on your game. And now, the only time an anime collaborated character has come back as a reprinting, so to speak, was Lelouch from Code Geass. Lelouch was so popular, and when he was released, he had two versions. You had handsome, debonair-looking Lelouch, and then you had the option to get Lelouch with a second head that had the evil Code Geass eye. So you had an option to buy Lelouch at the time, just normal or normal with the scary Code Geass eye. And then he was so popular, and people were just like asking for him so much that he got a second release a couple years later. It wasn't even a couple months. I think it was like 2 years later he got a second release. And then just recently, last year during COVID, he had a third release that was specifically only for a store. I forgot the name of the store. I think it's called Anime Friends or something, but it's a store in Europe. So you had to pre-order it, basically, or purchase it from this store, which is an affiliated store in Europe. And that was the only way you could get the third version of him. And he's the only one that's done that. And no other doll from Smart Doll that's an anime collaborated had a second printing. It was only Lelouch. Yeah, I think that was it. Oh, you know what? I think Fabric and Friends also did a Lelouch pre-order as well. So it might have been the European store and Fabric and Friends that did it too. I could be wrong. I know you guys will call me out on it in the comment section or in chat. But I think that's what it is. But those go by really fast. So it is legit a click war, especially if you want an anime collaborated character. The only ones that were kind of different were the newer ones. So Danny Chu has a new collaboration with DC Comics. And he recently released Supergirl. And he's going to be releasing soon Batgirl. Very soon, I'm told. I don't know the exact date. Don't ask me. He didn't tell me. But he says soon. And that one, Supergirl, actually took, I think, 2 days to sell out. And the reason being is because Supergirl had a really high price point. So majority of his anime collaborated dolls were usually ran from like $600, and I think at most it was like $700, I want to say, roughly in that ballpark. But Supergirl was $1,200 for her. She was very expensive. Now, the reason for her price, I don't know. Danny Chu didn't tell me the reason, but I'm going to hypothesize. This is my hypothesis here. All the other anime collaborated girls that he did, or boys that he did, is with a licensing agreement with another Japanese company in Japan, and they set the terms on price because Danny Chu says this is how much it costs to make the girl, research and development the girl. Then the licensing company says, well, we will sell you the license for this much, and we want this percentage of profit from whatever you get from selling the dolls. So then an agreed upon price has to be made where everybody comes out with some sort of a profit, right? But with DC Comics being a very big American brand, I'm assuming they kind of went for the gusto and said, well, if you're making a doll, a regular doll, and you're selling it for like, $500, $600, we kind of want that $500, $600 for ourselves too. So like, I'm just assuming. So DC probably said, if you're selling the normal doll for like around $600, then I want our licensed doll also to be worth $600, as if we were selling it ourselves. So now Danichu probably had to price it for $600 for the actual doll, and then another $600 to cover the licensing agreement from DC Comics, and then they ended up being $1,200. That is my speculation. I have no proof of this. I have no proof whatsoever. Danichu didn't tell me anything. DC Comics didn't tell me anything. So before you start running off to Danny and DC started complaining about price, speculation, people. I'm just hypothesizing. I'm guessing. Don't go out and start yelling at people, okay? This is just my theory. So at some point, both companies are businesses. They have to make a profit at some point, right? But with the DC comic collaboration, there's something going on with that makes it $1,200. Now, the next one coming out is Batgirl. How much Batgirl is going to be? I have no idea. If I were to base it historically, then I would base it off Supergirl at $1,200. But here's the kicker, right? Lelouch was a different price than was the Girls in Panzer Girls or the Gourd-Eye Girl from Frame Arms. He was a lot more in price. Suzaku was a lot more in price by like $100 than the other companies. So that's a difference in either the licensing agreement, or it could have been a difference with clothing and accessories, because the earlier anime collaboration dolls didn't really come with much. You had a pair of shoes and a simple outfit that they came with. But later on, with Lelouch and Suzaku and with Spike Spiegel, they came with more elaborate outfits, and the price seemed to have went up a little bit more. With Supergirl, I don't want to say it's not elaborate. It's her iconic Supergirl outfit. But if I were to judge Supergirl to Batgirl, if you look at the prototype photos of Batgirl, she comes with a helmet, she comes with a utility belt, she comes with like all these special things, like special gloves. I think her price would be more than $1,200 for Batgirl. If I'm being honest, I feel like the price is going to be more than $1,200 for Batgirl, which is going to suck for a lot of people because that might put her out of range for people to be able to buy her. But she does look absolutely amazing. But the price point is probably going to turn a lot of people off, and she probably won't sell out as fast. Or maybe people have been saving up for Batgirl this whole time, and everybody's got the money for her, and she's going to sell out super quick. Who knows? But I'm just letting you guys know that with Smart Doll, that the best way to get your dolls, long way winded story, is go to Twitter and follow @SmartDollLand to get all your Smart Doll release news. It's the best place to go, best place to get it. The second best place would be here on this channel. I'm sorry, shameless plug, right? Shameless plug. The next best place is to visit this channel. I do a show called The Doll Symposium where I give you the news and upcoming stuff that's coming out in the doll world for Dolphie Dreams and Smart Dolls. Okay, I'm done. Shameless plug. Sorry for the self-promotion. But definitely go to @SmartDollLand on Twitter to get all your news for Smart Doll related things. If you want to come support the channel and hear me talk about stuff, come see my other show, The Doll Symposium. But yeah, that's pretty much it for buying new Smart Dolls. Now, if you want a used one, an older one, the same rule applies from Dolphie Dreams, where you can go to Mandarake to look, or you can hire a proxy service, or look on doll forums or doll groups on Facebook in order to get any other dolls that you need, either secondhand or some rare dolls or items. Same rule applies with that. Let's see. We're going to check chat. What's going on in chat? Okay. I forgot where we left off. Okay, proxy service. Have we tried Japanese? Okay, here we go. This is where we left off. Okay, so Derpy. We're on a Derpy. Hasn't Volks USA also been at some conventions and sold in person there as well? Yes. So Volks USA has gone initially to Anime Expo in California for several years. I don't know if if they've done it the past 2 years, but I think Anime Expo this year, Volks will be there again. So if you live on the West Coast for California, go to Anime Expo this year. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Volks already put out an announcement that they will be there. And then in 2017, the very first... No, is it the very first? No. In 2018, the second Anime NYC, Volks USA came there. And it was a huge turnout, like, because Volks USA was there and Smart Doll was there at Anime NYC, and pretty much everyone and their mother on the Eastern Seaboard came to Anime NYC. I have never seen so many doll people in one place in my life, and I've been to many doll events. I've never seen that many doll people congregate in one place than Anime NYC 2018 when Volks and Smart Doll was there. So many doll people were there. It was mind-blowing. It was so awesome. I met so many people. It was the coolest thing ever. Since then, though, Volks USA has not gone to Anime NYC, and I haven't heard anything about them going this year to Anime NYC. But that's pretty much it. Those are the only events that I know of. And the reason for that is because Volks has its own events. Like, they have Dolpa in Japan that happens 3 times a year, and they have a Dolpa that happens in the United States once a year. It's usually in August, and it's on the West Coast. I think it's in the Hilton somewhere, like right across the street from Volks headquarters in California. So you can go to that event. But that hasn't happened in quite some time because of COVID. And there's no news of it happening this year either. So I don't know when they're going to resume doing the American Dolpa. And I really want to go to that one. I haven't been able to go to that one, but I would like to attend. So the next time they do a Volks USA Dolpa, I will definitely be there. Come hang out with me. Let's see, what else is going on? Magical Girl. I'm practicing self-control with Batgirl coming out this month. I told myself no more dolls until she has a few others... until that's pay off. I know, Magical Girl. I'm in the same boat. I'm trying to save money because I want to take my family out for a good vacation, and in order to do so, I gotta stop buying all these dolls. I've purchased so many dolls, and I have dolls upcoming, like this A-Zone girl that I'm trying to get my hands on, and then I just bought Ishtola. I already bought and paid for her, and C2 is coming out from Smart Doll. I'm definitely gonna get her. I really want Batgirl. I just can't afford her. Especially if she's going to be $1,200 or more. I just can't afford her. If somebody wants a Supergirl, I'm debating on selling my Supergirl so I can afford Batgirl. But I am going to sell her at like her original price. You know, just saying, if I were to do that. Like, because, you know, these dolls are rare. And at the very least, I'm not going to scalp you people. But at the very least, I will sell her for retail, whatever the retail price was. That's if I do. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do it. It really depends how much I really want Batgirl over Supergirl. Samantha. Oh, the choice was hard to make because I want them all. I know. I do. I want them all too. It's so hard. You can't have all the dolls, unfortunately, unless you're super rich. Magical Girl. They have a burned skin doll and vitiligo in Coco and Tea. Yes. So, vitiligo, if you're not familiar with it, because I actually didn't know about it until it was released for Smart Doll, but it was like what's the best way to say? It's a skin condition? I think it is the best way to describe it. Just Google it. Google vitiligo. And these girls have like the markings on their bodies for the vitiligo, and I think it's really, really cool that they have that, and I want one so bad, and I want Courage, which is not out yet, and some people have been lucky enough to get Courage in their Only the Braves, so I'm waiting for Courage. They also have a Smart Doll for that represent burn victims, so there's like one that has like a marble type of skin to represent individuals that have burn marks. So it's one thing that separates Smart Doll from any other doll company is that they have this, how do you say, like an inclusive line for people to identify with dolls more. Like people can identify as an amputee because they're starting to make amputee shin guards, and they're making that new cyborg breastplate, and I think they're going to do an arm at some point maybe. And then they have like a medical line for like an inhaler, an ostomy bag, a hearing aid, like all these things that people can identify with their dolls. I think it's so cool to have like this inclusive thing that he's doing that no other doll company does. It's pretty cool. Demi, Batgirl 100% coming this month. It's coming this month. Like he made it because I didn't see any announcement, but you think it's gonna be 100%? Yes, according to his post last week, he said late May. Oh, okay, middle to late May. Ooh, I don't know. I don't have money. K.R. Murdy, Dolphie was the very first vinyl doll. Ball jointed dolls go back centuries ago. Yeah, ball jointed dolls have always been around for like quite some time. And Dolphie like is the very first one. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure on that because I haven't made every single research that there is, but I was pretty sure. Let's see. Batman Woods, K.R. Murdy, first vinyl BJD at least. Derpy, smart dolls remind me of some of the older manga where the characters have very long proportions. Yeah, like Revolutionary Girl Utena is perfect example, and Sailor Moon, perfect example of like anime that had like the longer limbs and things like that. Tempest Strife, one note about the smart doll to Dolphie comparison, the mobility of the knee. I was thinking that when you were talking about the major for the last episode. Yeah, so the whole knee thing, it only goes to 90 degrees. Magical Girl, he keeps his representation dolls around even when they are his lowest sellers, such as Valiant, Liberty, and now Survivor, his burn scar body. Yeah, if you look at his posts, a lot of times when you see the store, like behind him, he'll have a wall of dolls. So a lot of them are on display when he does those posts, and some of them are the older ones. It's cool, like when I went to Japan before the pandemic and you go visit the store, the cool thing that he did is if he's there, if he's actually at the store when you visit, you can ask for him. Like he even says you can ask for him. Like go up to the front table and say, hey, is Danny Chu here? I'd like to meet him. And the cool thing that he does is that he tries to make time. Like obviously if he's like late for a meeting or he has an appointment, he has to go somewhere, he might not be able to, but he usually tries to make time, and he'll take you for a tour on the second floor and in what he calls the garage, and those are like the hush secret areas, which is so cool. So you get to go into the back area where all the magic happens. So the garage is where they do all their like social media stuff, and like their they shoot their videos and their photos in the garage, and you get to see some pretty cool rare things, and sometimes you get to see things that like he hasn't even talked about yet. And same thing with the second floor. Sometimes he'll take you up to the second floor and he takes you on a tour to see everything there, and you get to see like how the doll's made. Well, you don't sit there and watch them make the doll, but you see the stations, where they make the dolls, and you see a lot of prototypes. And his only rule is there you can't take pictures. And if he does let you take pictures, it's only of a certain thing. Like he says, you can take a picture of just this area, but don't take a picture of this area or something like that. He also asks you, he says, please do not talk about what you saw. And he doesn't make you sign an NDA or anything like that. It's really just, like loyalty and an honor system. He's just hoping that you don't tell anybody and you keep your word. So there was a lot of things that I saw when I went there that were super cool. One being Supergirl. I did see her there before she was released, and I didn't say anything. I saw other things which still have yet to be released that I'm not going to talk about. I don't know if they ever will be released, but I saw some things there, and it's really cool. So hopefully when the pandemic is over and the borders open up and he reopens the store, you guys will be able to take the same tour. Samantha, fun fact, Melody sold out fast when released in 2017. Melody was one of the first super popular girls too. Like Mirai, Kizuna sold. Chitose is super popular now. Like Chitose has a huge cult following now, and like starting a couple years ago. But when Chitose was released initially, she didn't sell out fast, because I guess the cult didn't exist at that point. But Melody, when Melody released, I remember people went crazy over Melody. So you are right, she did sell out pretty fast. Haruhi, welcome back. Thank you, Haruhi. Samantha, why some of the prototypes never be released? So there's a couple reasons for the prototypes not to be released. Either the design that he had intended for that doll, he just couldn't get right to his specifications. Maybe to us, to you and me, we're like, that's awesome, that's the one I want. But to his specifications, he couldn't get it the way he wanted. And no matter, I guess, how many attempts he made, he couldn't get it. So it became a prototype and sold off in a prototype garage. Other things in prototype garage were just failed stuff, like things that he made that he thought would look cool but didn't turn out that well, or when he posts pictures of it, it did get a lot of likes or a lot of comments. Like, he judges it off of that. So just so you guys know, the amount of likes that a doll gets on the pictures and amount of chat around that doll, like how much people talk about it and comment about the doll, actually goes into the decision making of whether or not that doll gets made. So a lot of the stuff in the prototype garage are from things like that as well. Let's see. Key Clark, Mattel needs to get in on this BJD thing. I think Mattel is trying to get in on the BJD thing because I believe I was talking to the coordinator of one of our doll meets here in New Jersey, and I believe she was telling me something along the line of Mattel trying to make some kind of a doll, not to the same level of Dolphie Dreams and Smart Dolls, but they are making something a little bit more akin to a modern doll that's not Barbie. But I could be wrong on that. I could have sworn I had a discussion about that with somebody else. Samantha, I don't think the quality will be the same, Jays, compared to when they took over the American Girl and Mattel brand, and Olin just won't be the same. Yeah, I mean, everything is different. It may be a cultural thing, it may be a work ethic thing, I don't know, but you could see it in different things. Like, there's a huge difference between like Japanese made cars and American cars and German cars. Like, they have like their own thing about them that they do. Like, a lot of German cars are rear wheel drive, and a lot of them are steel, and they have chain driven belts, and a lot of Japanese cars have like belt driven cars, and a lot of like aluminum and plastic and vinyl, and American cars are steel, and you know, there's everything like has a difference. So Mattel has its own different way of making dolls. Now, whether or not they're going to jump on the vinyl bandwagon, I don't know, or not. I don't even know if Mattel's made out of vinyl. I always thought Barbie was plastic, but I could be wrong. See, Derpy Shiki. Yeah, Shiki. That's the name. Yeah, I totally forgot. Magical Girl. Supergirl had 3 to 4 different restocks, and then Fabric Friends had her for over a year. Supergirl had restocks? I don't remember that. I know she lasted for a really long time before she sold out. I think it was like a day or 2 days. I didn't know she had a restock. I think Fabric and Friends did have her for a while, but I think that's because a lot of people didn't know to look at Fabric and Friends. That may have been it. Let's see, Magical Girl. He also sent over some Lelouch, I think, last year to Fabric and Friends, just random. Yeah, I think he did. That's the thing I was talking about. I think there was the same time he sent them to the European store. I think he sent a few to Fabric and Friends. Oh, for those of you that don't know, that are new to Smart Doll, he has 2 affiliate stores that I know of, I think, which is the Fabric and Friends here in America and the affiliate store in Europe, which is, I think, called Anime Friends or something like that. Yeah, so those are the only affiliate stores that he has, I think. I could be wrong. Let's see. Derpy, I'm hoping for Suzaku will be released when CC comes out, him or Lelouch. Suzaku and Lelouch were already released. I think you meant re-released, right? I don't know. Especially Lelouch, I don't know if he'll be released because he had so many already. If anything, maybe Suzaku because he never got a re-release. But you never know. You never know. He may do it. And because those are from Sunrise and he still has a contract with Bandai, apparently, you never know. There could be more reallocations for those dolls as well. Samantha, I would love a Demon Slayer collab. Demon Slayer. Speculation zone. We might talk about that at some point. Demi Batman Jackson, yes, I'm so hyped for Batgirl. I know, me too. I know. You and me have been talking about Batgirl a lot, girl. Magical Girl. I'm mostly interested in DC as I suck at watching mainstream anime, unless he did Sailor Moon, Violet Evergarden, Carol, and Tuesday. I just don't see it happening. Yeah, I mean, yeah, DC. I don't know if he's gonna do anything else. Obviously he's trying to reach out to many different companies to have a wide variety of stuff. But right now, the big name that we know is DC. He says there's a couple projects that he wants to announce. He's just not ready to announce them yet. Do I know those projects? No. Don't ask me. I have no idea. He said that he has other collabs that he's going to be doing, though. Jay Louisa, I would like a Bulma doll. Bulma would be an interesting one. I think Bulma would be very interesting. Let's see. Magical Girl. Now, if Dolphie Dream does Genshin Impact or Outer Sailor Scouts, I would buy. I have a feeling that Dolphie Dream might jump on the Genshin Impact train because they did do Fate Grand Order, so that's definitely a possibility. Outer Scouts, definitely a possibility as well, but whether or not they definitely will, I don't know. Derpy actually made a Xiao Smart doll. I can wait for someone to make him so to deal with the click war. That's another thing that's about this hobby. You can make your custom doll if you wanted to. Magical Girl. Danny did say that DC collabs are not money makers for him. I don't know all the details. My guess is DC gets more of the benefit. It is a cool passion project though, and I'm glad he's doing it. Oh, so if that is the case, then that extra $600 might be going all to DC. So yeah. Key Clark, I did it. Yay. Batman Jackson, best place for updates for sure. Oh, that's what I was talking about at the time. Yeah, I was doing my shameless plug. Magical Girl. Xiao is such a beautiful man. I would love to see. What is your Instagram handle? Let's see. Derpy, it's Cherry Berry Dolls. I'm in the process of making Scaramouche and Kazuna. Everybody, check out Cherry Berry Dolls. Batman Jackson. Oh my god, that year was crazy. Yes, it was. The Anime NYC year was crazy. Magical Girl, I will follow now. Noelle is my girl. Batman Jackson, even this past Anime NYC, there was a lot. Okay, so the past Anime NYC, there was no Smart Doll and there was no Volks. So you're saying there was a lot of people? Because I didn't actually attend that one. Because I didn't think anybody would show up since there was no doll related stuff. But maybe if people want to hang out just at Anime NYC, I'll go next time, even though Danny or Volks doesn't go. Just let me know. KR Murdy, the DC girls are so pretty, I might be tempted by Wonder Woman or Catgirl. Those might be on the list, as he did mention them briefly at certain times. Right now, I'm keeping my ears open for more news on Pocket Doll. Really interested in Pocket Doll, as I like small dolls. Yeah, we're all waiting on Pocket Doll. So far, it's just Pocket Mannequin at the time being. Magic Girl, Pocket Dolls will be amazing. I can't wait to see who he makes on the 1/4 scale. Magic Girl, I'm going to not look at Wonder Woman because it will break me. Wonder Woman will break a lot of people. Demi, now you keep Supergirl. You can babysit my Batgirl. Yeah, maybe. Let's see, but you got to do a photo shoot. I will. I'll do that. Tempest, skin condition affecting pigmentation on the skin. Okay, so that was for the vitiligo for the description. Thank you for that, because I always get that wrong. Derby, I need to start saving up for one of the newer collab dolls that have been announced. I finally saved up even to buy my Chitose Multiverse, now to save for CC or one of the boys. Definitely save up, because I am assuming CC will probably be around 700. That's my guesstimate. It could be a little bit more. Who knows? But yeah, be careful with her, because the click war is going to be real on that one. People have been waiting for her for he made the announcement in, I want to say 2017 he made the announcement for C2. So a lot of people have been saving since then, and a lot of people have been waiting. So this is going to be a really bad click war. I really hope everybody is able to get her that wanted her, but it's going to be really bad. Unless Danny just, for whatever reason, makes a really large allocation of them. Haruhi, I'm not good in the smart doll click wars, so I will get whatever is available if it attracts me. I only have Moment doll. I am thinking of getting a blue tone doll. Do you have any recommendations? The blue tone, if you want them, the hype for them is starting to die down a little bit. So the click war is not as hard it still is a click war, but it's not as hard when they release nowadays, because a lot of people that really wanted them have gotten theirs already, for the most part, at least. Like today, Anomaly was just released. Let me see. Anomaly was just released today, like another restock of her, and I'm gonna look at it right now. I think she might be sold out. Hold on. I'm gonna go right on the website, right here on my phone. Anomaly sold out. So yeah, she went up like 10 minutes before this stream started, and she sold out now. So yeah, they still go pretty decently. Let's see. But for recommendations, I don't know. That's really up to you. I don't know which one really suits your aesthetic tastes. Magical Girl, I would cry if I got to meet Danny and take a tour. I would cry just to be in Japan. It is my dream to visit. It has been mine for the longest time, and I had many opportunities to go, and I just never took it. And I just finally just hunkered down, saved a bunch of money, and I was like, I need to go. And quick small side story. I know the streams have been going on for quite some time. The main reason why I went to Japan when I went to Japan, which just so happened to be a couple months before the pandemic started. I went October before the pandemic. The main reason I went then, more so than any other time, was because I was scared I may not have the chance to go again. I've been having some health issues as of late, some heart issues, so I don't know. Like, my doctor says I should have had 2 heart attacks already, and he has no idea why I never had one yet, because my cholesterol is really bad. So I was like, I don't want to die of a heart attack before I even go to Japan. I really need to go. So I was, during that scare when my doctor scared me basically on my cholesterol, I was like, I need to go to Japan before I die. Another thing was, I went to the eye doctor for a regular checkup, and the doctor told me I'm at the early stages of getting glaucoma, where I might go blind. And I got super scared, and I was like, well, if I go blind, I can't see Japan. I can't really enjoy it. I need to go before I go blind, right? Turns out that doctor was a quack, because then I went to like 2 other doctors afterwards, and they're like, nah, dude, you're fine. So it's like, what the hell, man? So like, it was just like a weird scare moment of my life, and I was like, I have to go before like my body just gives out on me. Let's see. Derpy, I want to visit so bad. I've been trying to save up the money to go to Japan and visit there and visit the Vogue store. Please do. Please save and go. The best thing that you can do in life is travel. Like, I've never traveled a day in my life until I went to Japan. And now that's the only thing I want to do now. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait till the next time I get to go somewhere. Because it just seeing another place that's not your place is just so cool. And then to top it off, all the doll stuff is there. So it's pretty awesome. Derpy, let's see. I read yours. Tempest, Barbie, ABS plastic, vinyl head. Okay, so Jenny and the other fashion dolls are similar. Sometimes the legs are of vinyl or rubber as well. Okay, see, I didn't know that because I don't normally collect those. Demi, she only has a restock after the resellers' orders got canceled. Okay. Keith. Hey, Keith, you're here. What's up, Keith? Message retracted. Aw, I don't know what you were going to say. Tempest, I'd like the Twisted Wonderland dolls or Cloud Strife. Cloud Strife. Twisted Wonderland. I like reading those comics. If it's the same comic. Are we thinking of the same comic? Because that comic is pretty cool. It's a little risque, too. Magical Girl, yes, they were restocks only because they're order cancellations and stopping scalpers fraudulent activity. Okay, so Berry Wings, hey Berry Wings, welcome to the stream. Working but checking in. Thank you for checking in. Demi Blue Multi Chi, most definitely. Key Clark, Anomaly is kind of cool. I don't think I would make her my first doll though. Derpy Jolteon, I mean, after the face is revealed, I could make my own CC if I don't win the click war. So one thing I can say to you about CC is that I was able to see her, but I can't tell you what she looks like. So I'll say that much. I was able to see her when I went to Japan. I got to see what she looked like, at least the prototype at the time, and she looked really good. Now, years later, what any kind of like improvements or any differences he made to her, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, and I won't tell you because I'm sworn to secrecy if that was the case. But she just be hyped, okay? Because she's gonna be really, she's gonna look really cool. Let's see. Tempest Gotcha game, I think different, but I think I need to go Google some stuff. Okay. Magical Girl, I'm so sorry you had that experience, so scary. I hope also that you can find ways to control the cholesterol. I'm glad you got a second opinion. Yeah, the cholesterol thing, I take medication every day now, and I have to get regularly blood tested just to make sure my levels are okay. And I just have to exercise more. I used to be really big into exercising. So I think my personal reason of why my cholesterol went up is because I used to be really big in exercising. I used to exercise a lot because I was trying to get big. I wanted to be a police officer and I wanted to pass all the physicals and things like that. And I was exercising a lot. And I was also taking a lot of like protein shake supplements and some other like multivitamins and things like that. And I was eating a lot to gain more muscle mass, right? And then what happened is I got too old. I got rejected too many times. So I never made it. And I was just like, well, if I can't be a police officer because now I'm too old and I can't get in anymore, I was like, now I can finally eat again. Because back then I was only eating regular bland rice or white rice and some, steamed chicken. I wasn't eating any junk food, no sodas, no juices. Like I was on a very strict diet. So when it turned out that I couldn't be one anymore, I was just like, I can eat anything I want now. So on top of eating anything I want, like anything bad for you, chips, fried food, ice cream, cookies, and going out to eat fast food, I also stopped working out and I continued to eat the same amount, like proportion wise, of food when I was working out. And I think that heavily contributed to me gaining more weight because I gained like 20 pounds and a higher cholesterol because of that. But I've been trying to work out more regularly now to get it down. But thank you for the concern. Derpy, I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that. It sounds horrible. I know how you feel about the blindness thing. I'm already blind in one eye, and that was my thought too. Yeah, see, I understand because I went through that scare and I was just like, oh my god, if I can't see anymore, I gotta visit Japan before that happens. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, don't wait too long. And yes, it's expensive to travel there, but it's not as expensive as you think, right? Like, when I was a younger lad and I first got my first job and I was making actual money, I always thought it was way too expensive to go to Japan. I can never go. It's too much of a hassle. Really, if I really pushed myself to go to Japan back then when I was younger, I probably could have went like 10 times already. It's not as expensive as you actually think it is once you really get down to it. It's still expensive, don't get me wrong, but not as expensive as you think in your mind. Let's see, Haruhi, thank you. I will check the website again. Hope that Danny will make more anime-themed dolls. Yeah, he will make more anime-themed dolls, but anime collaborations, I don't know how many more he'll do. I'm pretty sure he'll do more, though. Just don't know which companies or how many more. But yeah, okay, so we've been on this topic for a really long time because I had to catch up with chat. I'm so sorry about that. But we want to get to our next section, right? This is the Dream Doll section. Yes, let's talk about the hype. Let's see what kind of dolls. So last week we talked about Dream Dolls, and we talked about the Major from Ghost in the Shell. And I asked you guys to put it down in the comment section down below or in chat to let me know any other dolls that you would like to see as a dream doll. And the resounding chats and texts and messages I got was for one particular doll, which was Violet Evergarden. We are not going to do Violet Evergarden today because, in my personal opinion, someone has already made the most perfect Violet Evergarden, and if I want a company to make one, I want it just like this one, like exactly like this one, and that is Alphon's Violet Evergarden. That's her right there. That's what she looks like. That is a custom-made Violet Evergarden. Go to Twitter, look for Alphon. He works for Danny Chu. I don't know what status in the business he is to Danny Chu, but he's pretty high up there. He goes anytime Danny Chu travels, Alphon is with him. That's his personal Violet Evergarden. She's absolutely beautiful. I forgot what head he used for her. He told me what head it was, and I totally forgot. I want to say DD9, but I could be totally wrong. But that is a custom Violet, and if anybody were to make a Violet Evergarden, Smart Doll, A-Zone, Dolphie Dream, anybody, I want it just like this. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect Violet Evergarden. That's the one that I want. He has so many pictures. Definitely check him out. Check his website or his Twitter handle, his Instagram. Look at his pictures. He has so many. I'll share one more. That's another one of his Violet Evergarden. If there were to be ever a Violet Evergarden, this is the one I want so bad. Alphonse, sell it to me. I'll buy her from you. He won't sell. I already asked him so many times. I bothered him about it. Oh my god, she's so gorgeous though. But yeah, if anyone makes a dream doll for Violet Evergarden, this is what they have to copy. They have to copy this exact one because she's so gorgeous. But let's do a real dream doll, right? So last time we talked about The Major, which is an older anime series, somewhat new if you count the CGI versions. But let's go to an anime that's new, like something that's going on today. And I know a lot of you are already thinking a new anime from today. You're like, oh, is he going to talk about My Dress Up Darling? Is he going to talk about Family Spy? Is he going to say Demon Slayer? Like, there are so many really cool shows out that are going out right now. But the one I want to talk about that's near and dear to my heart is going to be this one. That's right. That's right. This has got to be the next dream doll. In my personal opinion, this is what I want to see. And by the way, I didn't see anyone else say anything in the chats or the comments for any other suggestions. So I kind of like came up with another one of my own. But this is the one I want to see. So for those of you that are not familiar, her name is Raphtalia from the anime show called The Rising of the Shield Hero. If you haven't seen this anime, I highly suggest you watch it if you like those from another world type animes. Basically, if you like things that are like SAO type of thing, or Log Horizon, or Dot Hack, or, you know, Is It Safe to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? There's so many shows that are just like that. So this one's called The Rising of the Shield Hero. Her name is Raphtalia. I want a Raphtalia dream doll. I really want one. And I think it's possible, especially, you know, with the way she looks and the ears, because a lot of people like Dolphie Dreams is already doing the ears with the long elf ears. Danny Chu's already done like the cat ear, like headband kind of thing. And Dolphie Dream is doing Y'shtola, which has the long ears coming out. She hasn't been released yet. I don't know how they're making the ears, but you know, maybe, yeah. Oh, Demi, Isekai. That's what it's called. The genre is called Isekai. So you're right. This is the dream doll I want to see. So let's do some theory crafting, right? If you were to have a Raphtalia dream doll, there's another picture of Raphtalia from the anime. The other one, like this one, is just a fan art that somebody made. I thought was super beautiful looking. But this is a screen capture from the actual anime. This is what she looks like in the show. I totally think that she would be a really cool doll to be made. So let's go over a few things. First, head up. I think this head would work. This is a DDH6 head from Dolphie Dream. I think DDH6 would be really good with her. I think the face shape is perfect. Even the mouth is perfect. The nose is just about right. And the eye shape is perfect. Even the eye color. Like, this could be Raphtalia all on her own. I think DDH6 would be a good one that you can use for a Raphtalia base. Now, another one that you could use, I think would work, is this one. This is a DDH9 head that you could use to make a custom Raphtalia doll. I think that the eye shape, this one's a little bit more oval than the DDH6, but I think it would work with Raphtalia as well, and I think the mouth shape and the nose kind of fits also with her. Now, to move on to another one, I want to say the DDH14 head. Now, this 14 head looks really cool too. I think that the eye shape is definitely one that can work with Raphtalia. And lastly, the DDH23 head. So the DDH23 head will also work for Raphtalia. I think either one of these four heads would be good heads to use from Dolphie Dream in order to make your own custom Raphtalia doll. Whether you're doing it yourself, you're doing your own face-up, or you hire a face-up artist to do it for you. Now, I don't know how the process works because I never hired a face-up artist before. I don't know if you give them a head that you want to use and they just do it on that head, or if you ask them to make one and they suggest a head, like they say, I would suggest you use this head for this character, blah blah blah. But I think that these 4 are very good candidates for a Raphtalia head. What do you guys think? The DDH6 here, the DDH9 head here, the DDH14, or the DDH23? I think either of these could be really good. Let's check out the chat. Let's see what you guys say about this. Haruhi, wow, looks super cool and beautiful. I know, right? That Alphon has the best Violet Evergarden. Samantha, cool. Tempest Strife, the arms are badass like Automail. Yes, and they look really, really good, those arms. Fun fact, I found a vendor that does make arms that look just like that. I don't know if it's the same one that Alphon bought it from, but I did find that vendor, and I want to buy it, and I messaged out to them how much for the arms. And, you know, I don't know what goes into 3D printing. I've never done it before. I don't know how expensive the machines are. I don't know how expensive the filaments are or the program is. I don't know any of it. But I do know that 3D printing can be pricey. So the price they gave me, and they came in all black. They look like Automail arms, just like the one that Alphon had. It was $1,100 for an all black unpainted, like that's the original like thing, and then you just sand it yourself and you paint it yourself. I don't know if you can pay them even more for them to paint it for you, but I did find arms that were just like that you could use on your Dolphie Dream from a specific vendor, and it was like $1,100. Now that didn't include shipping either, so they are quite pricey if you want to get custom arms to look like Violet Evergarden. Let's see. Tempest Strife from Shield Hero. Yes, this is Raphtalia from Shield Hero. Demi. Oh, yeah, she said Isekai. Berry Wings. Her little ears are adorbs. I know, right? It's like the little... I just want to see I just want to see them wink, like in the show. I just like seeing them wink. Tempest Strife. Oh, 14 is the best so far. It's the most angular. Yeah, I think 14 has the good angle, like the jawline and the cheekbone line. And the eye shape, I think, works well. I think the eye shape, the best one, might be the DD6 for the eye shape, because it's just big and ovally like hers. But the eye shape does work on this one as well. Like, it's still big and ovally, but it has, like, a little point at the end. But it can work. I think it's definitely a good choice as well. Let's see. Tempest Strife. Oh, I can speak to that. Usually the customer supplies the head and pays for shipping to and from the artist. So we supply the heads, but do the artists make suggestions on what head to use? Like if I said I want a DDH6 and they said, oh, a DDH14 would look better, then I would just go out and buy a 14 and then ship it to them, right? Like I'm assuming it's something like that. Batman Jackson Demi, I've had heads faced up. Most artists will discuss the best heads in their opinion for the character with you. Yeah. Derpy, I like the 14 for her. The shape is amazing. I think the 14, that seems to be the winner. A lot of you guys are really thinking 14. Berry Wings, I think Miss Purple Hair could pull off Raphtalia with the pouty face and the puffer cheeks look. She could too. I mean, all these anime characters, these are all like static heads. I mean, they've gone through many emotions throughout the show, so you could always have her with the DDH9 head here with the pouty kind of like lips. Also, another thing with face-up artists, they can actually make a custom mouth for you. So they can make one where it's just a big open mouth, you know what I mean, or like a small kind of grinning mouth. There's a lot of different mouth shapes that you can do for that. That face-up artists can do. It doesn't necessarily have to look like the mouth shape that's on here. But if you wanted like the default mouth, yeah, this mouth would look pretty cool for like a certain look. Let's see. Haruhi, a number 14 will be my choice to make her. Mostly anime characters' face shape is so close to this 14. Yeah, 14 is a popular sculpt. Like 14, 17 is a popular one, 18 is another popular one, and the new 26 I want to say is like super popular, like head sculpts to like make into characters. Like a lot of people like those. But those are my choices. Those are my choices for Dolphie Dream heads. Let's move on to some Smart Doll stuff. So let's clear the board. So if we were going to do Smart Doll, right? I looked through all the heads, and for Smart Doll specifically, I think there's really only 2 that I think would work. Now, mind you, I am picking heads, both Dolphie Dream and Smart Doll. I'm going to be picking heads that are available right now, rather than discontinued heads, because it might be really hard to find them. So the ones that I thought would work the best, and you guys might disagree with me on this, would be Mirai. I think Mirai's head sculpt will work well for Raphtalia. The mouth would be good, and the big oval eyes are good for Raphtalia. I think that would really work well. Just have to get the right face up on her, the right color eyes. Like, I can even see it, just seeing them side to side like this. I can see it. Like, if you have the red eyes in there, you put little ears on her head, it could actually kind of look like Raphtalia almost, maybe, the way that she is. And then the only other one that I thought would really work would be for Envisage. So either Mirai or Envisage would be really good candidates for Raphtalia. At least in my opinion, I think they would be really good candidates. Either or would work really well. I looked through all the semi-real ones, and I just couldn't find any of the semi-real girls really matching Raphtalia, because Raphtalia has like a really, really anime face, whereas last episode when we were talking about the Major, she has kind of more of a semi-real look to her. Like, she kind of looks more realistic, and Raphtalia is like very anime looking, so none of the semi-real heads really worked for her shape. And then with the anime style heads, there's not many different heads. Like Mirai and I think Melody share the same head, and Prowess I think share the same head. So like, I didn't want to list all of them because they share the same head sculpt, but I think Mirai and Envisage may be the 2 best candidates for Raphtalia if you were to use Smart Doll heads to customize one. Let's see, what do you guys think? Let me see, what does chat say? Derpy, yes, I was looking at multiple heads for Xiao, and we decided on COS since my artist thought it would be the best look for him. My artist was a big help since it was my first custom anime game character. Yeah, so okay, so the artists do make suggestions. Now the COS head, the COS head, that's the Mirai head, right? Because again, like, I only know them by their names. Like, I don't know them by their code. You guys are real smart with your codes. I don't know anything about the codes. Tempest Strife, Mirai, I think, rounder eyes. Yeah, I think the Mirai one works really, really well. You could get away with using the Envisage head, especially if you're going for a specific look, like maybe a battle kind of pose. Like a battle pose for Raphtalia would look maybe better with the Envisage head. Who knows? But I think Mirai really kind of like hits it, the head on the nail head. What's the saying? The hammer on the nail, whatever it is. But yeah, Mirai works great. Let's see what else we got. Batman, I also think Mirai. Yeah, see, Derpy, I see Mirai as well. She's a close match. Yeah, I think Mirai would probably be the best one. There's not many differences in Smart Doll heads, especially if you're limiting it only to anime style. Then there's not many choices to really like go through. Whereas Dolphie Dream, they have like 26 heads. So there could be a lot. But yeah, those are the only ones that I think would work really, really well for Raphtalia. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you're watching this video at a later date, put it down in the comment section. Let me know what kind of like anime characters you would like for a Dream Doll, and we could do some more theory crafting on the next episode. Yeah, I think Raphtalia needs to be made into a Dolphie Dream or Smart Doll or something like that, because I would love to have a Raphtalia doll. Those ears. It's those ears, man. Let's see. Haruhi, I will choose Kanata and Monday face shape. It will look so cute and lovely. Kanata might be a little bit harder because she has very smaller eyes. So unless you're going for a different kind of look for her, then it would have to be like more of like an aggressive look. Because just Raphtalia just always has like big doughy eyes. But for Monday might actually work. Like if you wanted to use a semi-real sculpt to make a semi-real version of Raphtalia, I could see Monday working. Monday could work as well. If you want to do like a semi-real Raphtalia, that could work as well. But yeah, so that's the end of the Dream Doll section. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun to do like this theory crafting and, you know, see what kind of like heads would look good and what kind of dolls you would like to see. Next episode of Beyond the Doll, I'm going to do another very popular anime series of today, and we'll talk about that one in the next one. But yeah, that's it for the Dream Doll section, and for the most part, that's the end of today's episode. It was a really long episode. There was just like a lot to say, but yeah, let's see. Let's go back to the other saying. Yeah, so you don't have to watch my silly PowerPoint looking thing. But yeah, that's the end of today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know it was really long, but hopefully the information helped a lot of you out, like for things that maybe you didn't know about buying Smart Doll or Dolphie Dreams, whether it's brand new or third party or whatever. Especially a lot of you didn't really know too much about Proxy, so I'm glad I was able to help you out on that. And if you're watching this at a later date, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know if that helped you out, or if there's anything that I missed that you guys want to know about that I should, like, you know, change or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Next episode will be probably something a little bit more different in nature. I don't want to give too much away, but we're going to be talking about something a little different in the next episode. Like, as the first two episodes was more like what is an anime doll and then how to buy them, because those are the most questions I get on a lot of my videos in the comment section. So where do I buy that doll? How do I get one? How much does it cost? And then like, what is that doll? Can you tell me what it is? So I thought the first two episodes was really good as a good filler for people that are just getting into the hobbies, like something that they need to know. So yeah, then the third episode coming up in 2 weeks will be about something a little bit more different in regards to dolls, that is. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you liked this stream, if you liked this video. If you're watching this at a later date, please leave a like. It really helps out in getting this video promoted on YouTube, so a lot more people can see it and learn from it. And thank you for staying with me for so long, because this stream was actually really long today. I didn't actually expect it to be this long. Let's see. Any last comments? Any last questions in chat before I let you guys go? Let's see. Derpy Jolteon. COS is not Mirai. I forget who that head is exactly. Oh, okay. So, yeah, like I said, I don't know the codes very well. I just know them by their names. Like if you say Mirai head, Kizuna head, like I know what you're talking about. Tempest Drive, Cosmos? No, not Cosmos. Not Cosmos. COS is one of the code model numbers for a head shape. Kind of like how we have DDH6 or DDH10. Like on the back of Smart Doll heads, they'll have codes like COS. I think G01 is another one. There's other codes. There's not many of them, but there are other codes. Let's see. Samantha. GG's. Yeah, GG's. Good game. Thank you for coming, Samantha. Batman Jackson, it was really fun and informative. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you coming, Demi. Samantha, happy Mother's Day, everyone. And Tempest Stripe, happy Mother's Day. Yes, happy Mother's Day, all of you. For those of you that are watching, and those of you that are watching after the fact, like later on at a later date, happy Mother's Day to you all. Hopefully your loved ones take you out for a very special day, either for presents or foods and desserts or whatever, or just leaving you alone to give you peace of mind, because we know that you mothers, you do a lot. Like my wife, she does so much, and so much for me and the kids, that like sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna take the kids out because you need some time alone so we don't bother you. But yes, happy Mother's Day, everybody, and thank you everybody for coming to the stream today, and thank you for watching if you're watching this after the fact. Let's see. Anything else? Haruhi, bye bye. Bye, Haruhi. Oh, here. Makoto wants to say bye too. Makoto says bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Derpy, has anyone watched the case study of Vanitas? I would love to see a doll made of John. I don't know that one. Keith is still here. Keith! What's up, Keith? Also, Envisage. Okay, so COS is Resolute and Envisage. Oh, okay, so I showed Envisage. So Envisage is one. Tempest Drive. Oh, yeah, I made an alt on your server for FF. Okay, cool. Message me the name. I'll be on Sunday night. So for those of you that don't know, I made a separate YouTube channel specifically for Final Fantasy XIV. I stream Sunday nights and Wednesday nights around 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern time. So if you guys want to come watch the stream, I will be on there. Let's see. Derby, I thought she was on Visage. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Samantha, bye, pretty doll. Yes, bye, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really had a great time chatting with all of you in chat today, and hopefully all the information that was divulged in this episode or this stream was really helpful to you. So I really enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It was great seeing all of you. Bye. Bye. Say bye, Makoto. Bye. All right, guys. Take care. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment down below if you have anything that you want to say if you're watching this like at a later date. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I really, really appreciate all of you. Good night. Laters.